reporters explore the ways Northeast Georgia is shining a light on mental health. Students will also need to start paying their loans again after a 3-year pause. What are their options? And a Jackson County nonprofit protects the environment and helps those in need through recycling. All this and more, live at 5.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Joe Copshow. The first week of October is Mental Illness Awareness Week. Our reporters take a look into what is being done to help those that are struggling in Athens and beyond, including a candlelight vigil and a safe haven for struggling musicians. Grady Newsource reporter Gabby Kanzian brings us the story of a nonprofit that was born out of a family's tragic loss and focuses on helping musicians struggling with mental health.
Music is a big part of the Athens, Georgia culture, yet being a musician can be difficult. Nucci Phillips' mother started Nucci Space, a nonprofit in Athens, after her musician son Nucci took his own life. Mental illness is a serious issue that musicians struggle with every day. A 2019 study by Swedish digital platform Record Union with 1,500 independent musician respondents found that 73% were struggling with mental illness symptoms. Nucci Space recognizes how difficult it can be when struggling with mental illness and wants to be seen as a safe space where musicians seek help and guidance. Suicide prevention and destigmatizing mental health in musicians is the main focus of Nucci Space.
All of that is in our efforts to provide the resources and kind of the support systems necessary for musicians to have a place to call home. One of the reasons that we chose to focus on musicians in Athens is that Athens, Georgia is one of the best music towns, music cities in the U.S.
Nucci Space is a place where people in this community can gather and be a part of music creation as well. They have rooms to rent and record music that help bring the musicians together.
They've done great things for a lot of musicians here in town and their families, and it just, I don't know, I can't praise them enough, you know. So.
Although the music community in Athens is large, it can sometimes feel very lonely. Nucci Space wants every musician in Athens to know that this is a place for them.
Although their focus is on musicians, others struggling with mental illness are always welcome at Nucci Space.
The music is a unifying force. I hope that anybody that's able to walk in can find community there too.
Gabby Kanzian, Grady Newsource.
Madison County High School is hosting a mental health walk as well to help promote National Mental Health Awareness Week. Grady Newsource reporter Alex Scott has more on this story.
The Madison County High School Anchor Club hosted a candlelight vigil last night to start off a week full of events to promote mental health awareness. Among the speakers was Athens Clarke County Mayor Kelly Gertz.
This is a field and area that impacts all of us. We see need in our classrooms, in our workplaces, in our hospitals, on our own block, and certainly for many of us in our own families. And we are so grateful that people do reach out and ask for help. And we want to emphasize that that's the right thing to do.
The Anchor Club at Madison County High School is a chapter of the organization Anchor International, which promotes youth leadership and mental health for students across the nation.
I did give the anchors throughout the nation a charge this year as a project to focus on mental health awareness.
According to the World Health Organization, 1 out of every 7 10 to 19-year-olds experience mental health conditions. Beyond school, they host public events in the community to show their support and educate others on the importance of mental health safety. Anchor is hosting a mental health walk in partnership with Pilot International, an organization that focuses on brain health safety.
We want to destigmatize mental health treatment, and that, much like if you had a gallbladder attack or appendicitis, you would reach out and get help for that, right? We want people to know if they're in emotional distress or have some sort of mental illness, that it's simply treatable. Just reach out for help. There's no harm done in that, but it can definitely benefit and impact their life so that they can be their best selves.
The Mental Health Walk will take place at Madison County High School Track and Field on October 22nd at 3 p.m. I'm Alexandria Scott, Grady Newsource.
After a 3-year hiatus, many people across the country with student loans must start paying again. Grady Newsource reporter Raven Alsobrook is at the UGA Financial Aid Office, where many students are going for their questions.
Thank you, Joe. And right now I am at Caldwell Hall, where the Office of Student Financial Aid is located here at the University of Georgia. Many students go here so they can learn more about their options as the repayment plan for student loan resumes. I also talked to an expert who told me more about what students can do to prepare.
For many across the country. This comes after the Supreme Court struck down President Biden's student loan forgiveness program this June. The White House put a pause on the repayment of student loans as a part of the 2020's CARES Act. It was made as a way to give many economic relief during the pandemic. Many students now wonder how this will impact them.
Having a big impact on a lot of students, especially students who are my age now, millennials, who have had a break in paying on these loans for the last 3 years.
The Federal Student Aid website provides a list of things that borrowers should do to prepare to repay their student loans. Those include updating your contact information and exploring affordable repayment plans. If on an income-driven repayment plan, consider recertifying early enroll and autopay. Find out what your monthly payment amount will be and make your payment, and check if you qualify for a type of loan forgiveness. There are multiple plans, however, to help those who are beginning to repay their loans. Those plans include the standard repayment plan, where payments are made in a fixed amount that ensures that your loans are paid off in 10 years, the graduated repayment plan, where payments begin low, begin to increase every 2 years, and by 10 years your loans are paid off, the extended repayment plan, the saving on a valuable education plan, known as the SAVE plan, that can help people pay at a lower monthly cost, the income-based repayment plan, the income contingent repayment plan, and the income sensitive repayment plan.
Take a good look at your income and your outgoing expenses, and just seeing where you can tighten up in any space. But
And if students want to learn more about whether or not they are eligible for certain plans, they can visit the Federal Student Aid website. This is Raven Alsobrook with Grady Newsource. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you for that, Raven. The Jackson County Commission voted to raise the EMS prices in August, and the raises just went into effect yesterday. Grady Newsource reporter William Daughtry shows us why these raises came about.
Jackson County Manager Kevin Poe says one reason for the raises was inflation, which he claimed hit everyone, even the EMS department.
So periodically we have to look at our rates that we charge for EMS services. We hadn't done it in a couple of years, and as most people know, the cost of doing business is, with inflation and everything, is hit everybody as well as the EMS department.
Poe also says that tax dollars heavily subsidize the EMS department, and insurance rates also play a factor in the shortfalls of covering the service cost.
The county still heavily subsidizes the EMS service with tax dollars. We have a lot of people who are uninsured or underinsured or on we get Medicare rates for a lot of calls that we go on that don't cover the cost of our services.
Poe says it's been 2 years since the last increase. This time around, they averaged out to roughly 25% for flat rates and 33% for per mileage rates, according to the approved agenda minutes. Like Poe, Assistant EMS Director Tim Grice also blamed inflation for the increases, citing increases in fuel, medicine, and personnel costs.
I believe you call it just the overall effect of inflation, coupled with the fact that our reimbursements have not kept pace with that. So we don't get increases on our fees for service to keep on pace with the rising costs. Honestly, they probably haven't happened frequently enough.
The raise went into effect October 1st of this year for all Jackson County residents. Reporting in Jackson County, William Daughtry, Grady Newsource.
The federal government narrowly avoided a shutdown after a bipartisan deal was reached in the House. Here at home in the state of Georgia, the deal split representatives. All Democratic voters and representatives voted for the state to approve the bill, while 4 Republican representatives voted yay and 5 Republican representatives voted nay. The new deal will fund the government for just over 45 days, so Congress will have to reach a new agreement to keep the government funded after the November 17th deadline. After the break, reporter Lindsay Bornhorst joins us in the studio to talk about an oncoming story. Oof. Oof.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
A nonprofit organization is making a big difference in the Barrow County school system by packing weekend bags for students who rely on meals provided by the school. Grady Newsource reporter Lindsay Borhorst attended a weekly bag checking this ceremony this morning to give us a preview of her story at how the food goes from shelves to homes.
Each volunteer is assigned a different food item that is to be placed in every bag and moved along the assembly line. At the end of the bag packing assembly line, bag volunteer leaders Kirsten and Debbie count each bag and place it into the bin according to the school that it will be allocated to. At the end of each bag packing, volunteers load the bags in their cars in order to be driven and delivered to each school within the county.
I'm now joined in the studio by Lindsay Bornhorst. Lindsay, thank you for being here. Now, Lindsay, who participates in these packings and how many do they pack a session?
Yeah, so the participants in the packings are all volunteers. The only employed person is Tiffany Ring, the executive director. And she said they have regular volunteers. Some come monthly, some come every single Monday. And they usually have about 25 to 35. And they pack around 400 bags for 400 different students throughout Barrow County to be sent home on the weekends. This morning especially, they did double packing because it is fall break next week. So.
Wow, that's a lot of amazing work to do for so little volunteers.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, Lindsay. It's been a pleasure.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Now, another nonprofit organization, this time in Jackson County, is promoting recycling and reuse in their community. Grady Newsource reporter Hadia Williams takes us to an event promoting the sustainability and health of the environment.
Cars file in line for Keep Jackson County Beautiful's semi-annual Fall into Recycling event. The community is coming together to properly repurpose or get rid of hard-to-dispose-of items. People brought in e-waste, household hazardous items, clothes, medication, and paper to be properly taken care of.
On average, we tend to keep at least 50,000 pounds of garbage out of the transfer station or landfills. Getting rid of things properly and disposing of them properly helps protect the environment.
Here, waste is disposed of properly, causing many harmful substances like mercury to keep from polluting the air and decreasing health concerns. Vendors like Jessica Clark provide different forms of recycling and reuse at different stations at the Jackson County Agricultural Facility. The Recycle Sneaker Project traveled from Florida to gather old shoes and give them new meaning.
We support events like this where people bring in their donated shoes, and from there, at our warehouse, then they are graded. Ones that are gently used, then they are sent to countries who desperately need them.
The Jackson County Sheriff's Office participated in the event with their drug take-back program, gathering narcotics and expired medications from willing citizens and taking them to an incinerator to completely destroy them.
This is to make sure when someone throws away any expired drugs, it doesn't get into the wrong hands or into, obviously into our ecosystem through just general waste.
Through nearly 20 years of service, Keep Jackson County Beautiful has brought a new approach to sustainability within Jackson County. As they continue to develop, their hope is that many come to realize the importance of protecting the environment that they call home as they fall into recycling. Grady Newsource, Hadia Williams.
Coming up after the break, Grady Newsource weather anchor Ethan Wells gives us an update on this week's weather and what to expect from temperatures this fall.
Typically, for Georgia,
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back. I'm Ethan Wells, and here's a look at today's weather. So we had a beautiful day today with clear sunny skies, a few clouds, but today's high was about 83 with a low of 58 heading into the night. Moving into the rest of the week, we're going to see a lot more of that nice weather. Tomorrow we have a high of 84 and a low of 60. Moving over through Wednesday and Thursday, a lot more of that trend. Sunny, highs in the low 80s, low of 57 on Wednesday and a low of 62 on Thursday. Friday, however, there is some slight cloud coverage and a high of 81 and a low of 57. With fall starting soon, many people are expecting cooler weather. On top of that, we are in an El Nino year, which traditionally brings cooler weather and more rain. While the Climate Prediction Center is projecting more rain, they are not expecting a drop in temperatures despite the strong El Nino year. Pam Knox, director of the UGA Weather Channel and agricultural climatologist, explains the cause for these contradicting projections.
El Nino, we go into cooler and wetter conditions than usual.
And that's because it pushes the jet stream right over Georgia, especially the southern half of the state. And so we get more cloud cover and more rain.
And that's your weather report for today. After the break, stick with us and listen to Kelty Ball telling us the newest thing on sports this week.
Some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. I'm Kelsey Ball. What a great weekend of sports. Let's start with football. Clark Central traveled to Gainesville Friday night. They came up short 41-38. This week, they're back on the road again as they prepare to take on Loganville. First away game this season for the #1 Georgia Bulldogs, and after a nail-biter, UGA rallied and tight end Brock Bowers led the team to defeat Auburn 27-20. 1/3 of the way through college football season, UGA remains #1 in the AP poll with over 22 consecutive wins. Here's a look at our newest AP poll. October is officially here. Postseason kicks off this week. Braves having a historic season. Braves right fielder Rondo Acuna breaking records and taking names. He already became a charter member of the 40-70 club with 40 home runs and 70 stolen bases. This weekend, he set a new modern record with 73 stolen bases. Spencer Strider, or should I say Strikeout King, he broke the Braves franchise record with 281 strikeouts. Later this week, will the Dogs stay undefeated? This week, UGA takes on undefeated Kentucky at home at 7 p.m. The Braves will host the playoffs this weekend at Truist Park and will play the winner of the Philadelphia-Miami series. And the Falcons host the Houston Texans on Sunday. That's it for this week's sports.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
October and pumpkins are synonymous with each other. Grady Newsource reporter Sailor Betts tells us more about how the pumpkins at one local church have brought the Athens community together year after year.
The city of Athens and the University of Georgia campus are filled with red and black, but orange has never been more welcome. The start of October also marked the start of the annual pumpkin patch at Millage Avenue Baptist Church. The event will run through the remainder of the month. The MABC says proceeds from the event support their effort to build stewardship, provide music, and support ministry for local children. Ginny Dempsey is the associate pastor for students at the MABC. She appreciates how the Pumpkin Patch event brings the community together year after year.
People come, they bring their children, they bring their dogs. We've even had cats here on leashes. And it's become such a tradition. I mean, it was here long before I arrived at the church, and it'll be here after I leave. And I love the fact that it's part of Athens culture now. And every year I have families come to me and say, we met here on our first date, and now we're back with our children. Or my children are in college, but we came here for 10 years while they were growing up, and have pictures at their photo op. So I love the continuity.
The MABC offers several variations of pumpkins and other gourds for purchase. Glada Horvat is a volunteer with the church's Pumpkin Patch and a Grady College graduate. She's been a volunteer ever since the first event in 2007. Beyond community engagement year after year, she says that when it comes to the Pumpkin Patch, the early bird gets the worm.
I like being here early when the truck is unloaded so I can get some of the good stuff. Because sometimes there's some unique looking pumpkins, and if you're here early, you can get those.
So where do all of these different pumpkins come from?
Our pumpkins come from the Navajo Reservation in New Mexico. This is one tractor trailer truck. We'll have 2 more that come. But I was actually able to go out there several years ago and visit, and it's an amazing operation out there. And they use a lot of the local Native Americans to help them, the Navajo, to help work the patch, and they provide food and shelter for them. And it's a wonderful partnership that they have, and then they've been wonderful partners with us to enable us to have all these amazing pumpkins.
In Athens, for Grady Newsource, I'm Sailor Betts.
Thank you for watching Grady Newsource. We'll be back on Wednesday. For everyone that makes this show possible, I've been Joe Copshow. Have a sublime evening, Northeast Georgia.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. And I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when